house with me.
Yeah. And he's taking it to have a shower, guys. And can you tell me, when you get a script, what are you looking for? What is it that makes you go, this is a character I want to play, or do you think this is a film I want to do?
I haven't read a script in about a decade. But when I did read scripts, I just read one the other day, actually, and it's going to be a movie maybe I do next. I'm not sure. But I look always, it depends, different stages of my life. I'm almost 54. When I was 24, it's very different. When I look for now, that I have an 11-year-old child, there's a lot of opportunities, which is a wonderful place to be. What's really gonna, blow my hair back? I don't know until you kind of read it. There's always something. It's more important, I think, if it's Taylor Sheridan or Catherine Bigelow or other people I've worked with that really kind of inspired me. And then they could direct the phone book, and then I wouldn't care. Let's go do the phone book. It doesn't matter. It's the narrative. There's only 12 stories in my mind to be told, like Greek mythology. It's just basic stories being retold, just kind of in different ways. So I don't know. It depends on. It's like a dance. It's like what song plays. Like what's your favorite song? What kind of it depends. Everybody's got different moods and playlists and different things. And same in cinema. What's going to get me to get up and want to go to work again is going to be the people, first and foremost. The narrative, rarely does the narrative really just blow my hair back and be like, oh, this is amazing, I got to do this story. Let's find the people to do it. That's pretty rare, for me anyway. I'm more excited about the people to help tell the narrative with. So, and then where it shoots, that's kind of important nowadays, because I'm 54 and when I'm 58. Hey, I'll shoot on the Red Sea all day long, man. That's great. I did that before.
that guys. Come on.
Yeah, I did that before. We were in Aqaba and doing all that. So it's great, man. I enjoyed being on the Red Sea. It's a bit hot in Aqaba. It's 135 in a 100-pound bomb suit. It's pretty brutal. But not that I'd do that again. Hurt Locker's still hurting. Yeah. No, thanks.
Talking about roles that hurt, when you have to get into the mind, such as you did in Daimler in 2002, it came out. What was it like to try and get into the mind of a serial killer? It's interesting because there was a book written by his father in retrospective of what he had missed, what he maybe had done wrong, what his part was in it. Looking at it from a non-judgmental, obviously, I didn't know a whole lot about what he had done prior, and that was kind of good. I didn't really try to get too informed, because a lot of judgment can come with that, because he did some really terrible things. So I just went to underneath any information I did know about him, and just understand kind of how and why, where that came from. And it still terrifies me to this day, But it's an interesting sort of venture into chaos and hell for me. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. And then when the film had such a great reception, especially people were talking about you and your performance, how did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, that was, my dad wouldn't talk to me. He was like, you freaked me out. Like, all right, so I did a good job then. So great. Yeah, it was just one of those things where it caught a lot of attention in the industry, and I got a great agent because of that, and it really set forth the direction of the career I wanted to have. And then I got the right people around me that saw it and supported that, that had the acting chops and the depth to be able to perform that way and to hold a movie. And so that movie is the reason why I got cast in The Hurt Locker. Some 7 years later. So it was a big milestone for me in my career. That tiny little film we shot in 13 days.
It seems so remarkable to shoot a film in 13 days and for it to live 20 years later.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about what it's like to look at yourself in roles where you're young? I don't think I really have. I don't even really watch stuff I do now. I saw like the Avengers because there's
Because it's everywhere.
Well, no, it's also because there's, especially when you do the first one, we don't know what's really going on. There's a lot of CGI in this stuff. So, you kind of want to see what they're putting together there. The Hulk's not really there, right? I don't really have arrows and stuff. So, you got to figure out what it looks like. So I watched the first one. It was hysterical. Oh my God, so much fun. And then I think I saw maybe a half of another one. I saw Endgame. I saw the first one and then Endgame. I saw those two movies, and that's about it. And Endgame was like, whew, that was a monster. That was tough to watch.
I'm going to jump because I have an end game story for you.
Okay, great.
Because I hadn't watched every single Marvel film, and I watched Endgame, and I was so confused. I was like, what the hell is happening? Then I watched it with a friend of mine who explained to me what was going on as it went on. It took us 9 hours to watch that.
That's because there's 22 films before that. That's how the narrative of that, it's a pretty amazing sort of huge comic in itself, right? 23 films to tell.
Also the TV shows.
What happened to who?
And also the TV shows.
show, he said.
Oh yeah. Is that too? Jeez Louise, yeah. Busy Marvel. More to come, I guess.
Always more to come.
Yeah.
Always more to come. Before we get on to talking about your Marvel, because I know people want to talk about it, but let's talk about the Hurt Locker because you've mentioned that a couple of times today. Catherine Bigelow, she comes to you. She's made some iconic films at that stage. What was that first meeting with her like, and what did she tell you?
I flew from London. I was shooting 20 weeks later, and I'd read the script, and I'm like, oh, this is really, really fantastic. I love it. But I had to fly to LA for dinner, and then back to London because I was still working. So I literally just flew to LA for dinner. Like, this is so strange. But yeah, just to sort of kind of cement the thing. She showed me the lookbook and sort of this sort of dance, and yeah, it was beautiful. It was a quick dinner. It was just like a handshake deal, and then we knew we had the right people, and we were going to start putting this thing together, and it was really exciting. And then a year and a half goes by as I'm training in with Fort Irwin and learning how to build bombs and render them safe. Then she calls me up. She's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I can build bombs. And I can tear them apart." She's like, "All right, let's go to work." And then she dropped me in the Middle East, and we're in Jordan and filmed that. So she's another one of those people where I never saw her almost the entire shoot. Maybe at the end of the day, she's off hiding. She just lets me go do what I'm supposed to do and let her go capture it. And we had a really good working rapport that way, and so a lot of trust with each other. She knew that I was very prepared and commanded the narrative and the story. I could hold that narrative for her.
I'm surprised anyone lets you on a plane. You know how to build a bomb. I know I'm never going to get on a plane with you. But
more importantly, I can tear them apart. That's why I build them.
That's more important.
That's how you can tear them apart.
Why did you feel, or did she ask you to spend so long learning the actual mechanics of the role?
It was only supposed to be like 3 months. She's the one in the production started getting me prepared, and then it took a little bit longer to get the movie together. And we're still looking for the end of the Anthony Mackie part. We're still looking for that character. We have Brian Garrity already, and then so I think this took a little longer. So it took more of a year. So then I just kept continuing training with the guys, became friends with the guys on base, and then more importantly, got to be friends with them off base. So then they would come to my house, and I could just hang with them and pry into their brains and just spend time with them. Really, really interesting sort of leisurely way to dive into a world that was so fascinating to me. And I'm glad I had all that time.
You mentioned that she was